During this Connected Investor Success Short, you'll hear 3 real estate investing pros explain exactly how to implement the strategies that made them millionaires. Brought to you by PrivateLenders.com, where real estate investors go to get private funding for all of their real estate investments. Make sure to check out the links in the description of this video for full lessons and free giveaways. Let's get started. On the line right here, we have a gentleman by the name of Corey Donahue. He runs a site called Second Avenue, and they are essentially a Wall Street-backed real estate investing company that is, I wouldn't say excited about what's happening in the market right now, but they're looking at the glass half full, thinking, how can we move forward during this time when so many other people are kind of pulling back? Do you believe this will provide more motivated sellers or more opportunities to purchase?
Certainly will. Yeah, and that's one of the benefits of buying doing buy and hold, right? Is you're not the reason the iBuyers can't buy right now is because that falling knife could drop prices on them. If prices drop on an iBuyer at 5%, they're out of business, right? I mean, they're already having a hard enough time right now keeping cash flows making sense and profitability making sense. But for us, we'll just ride it out, right? We'll buy a good deal, and as long as rents don't compress, which I don't feel like they will, they haven't historically in recession, we're going to be just fine.
So really, what I'm hearing you is there's a lot of great buying opportunities that are coming out of this. It's kind of like these iBuyers were these big trees, right, in the forest, like taking up all the light. They've fallen over, they've moved for a little bit. Now there's some light shining through, and someone who was on the sidelines who just couldn't quite get in the game. Now seems like the time to really get in there, because this is when you're starting here and you can start kind of ride this thing up.
Yeah, and it depends on if you were competing, right? The iBuyers are only in so many markets, so it depends on if you're competing directly like we do here in Florida with the iBuyers. And if your investment strategy is overlapping with theirs at all, right? Because they don't buy a lot of distress anyway, because they don't put a lot of money into the houses they buy. But it definitely should clear some sunlight to some degree for sure. Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you've seen as you've researched this that you think can be of value to the viewers on the line here?
I think just pay really close attention again. I mean, there's a lot of reports out there right now. Kind of all the big investment banks are coming out with, hey, this is what we see is going to happen, and of course they're motivated to downplay some of the potential effects. But there's a couple of reports out from like Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. I would just engulf myself in some of that stuff, engross myself in some of that stuff, and try to get as much information as you can on a daily basis. And certainly, the Wall Street Journal and New York Times articles like that to kind of give you an idea of what's happening in the financial world, because it's directly going to affect everything that goes on after that.
The Connected Investors app connects you with investors, notifies you of available properties, helps locate cash buyers, and secure private funding to close deals. Set up in seconds to become a member of the Connected Investors social network. Now you can scroll through your main feed to find cash buyers, see investment properties not available to the general public, and network with investors by adding your own comments to a thread to keep the conversation going. The Control Center is your connection to add properties to sell, start new discussions, connect with local investors, and even find private funding. The Notifications tab will keep you alerted to new investment properties and offers. You'll also find new friend requests to connect directly with the community to build your network. From the property marketplace, you'll be able to find, favorite, and make offers on investment properties. Download Connected Investors today to find, figure, fund, and flip investment properties on the go.
So I'd like to introduce you to Brent and Adam. Hey guys, how are you?
Doing well.
I'm Brent, by the way, just so no one gets confused.
Oh yeah, Adam.
Let's talk about the ways to build rapport with these individuals, not leads, that need to sell to an investor.
To break it down real simple, the easiest thing is for people to remember when they are answering the phone, when they're knocking on a door, when they're sitting down in the living room. Stop thinking of, and you basically said it, they're not a lead anymore. They're not a seller. They're a person And that's pretty much the essence of what we do. Number one of all the rapport building, listening is number one. And then just being empathetic, responding without judgment or anything else, just treating that person like a real person.
Let's go ahead and talk about figuring out what their needs are. Give me the quick and dirty on this.
I mean, the quick and dirty is exactly what it is. And you have to build the rapport first. So we talk about compartmentalizing the steps a lot. If you want them to open up and tell you what the real problem is, or at least give you enough clues you can figure it out, you got to build the rapport. But you always want to know what their next step is, because people say that they want money, they say they want a certain amount. But if you know what they're trying to accomplish, then you can really have a lot of fun in getting them what they want in a way that makes a lot of sense for you.
Let's go ahead and talk about solving their problem with the right offer that makes financial sense for you.
And I guess I think it surprises a lot of people, but when you go through those first two steps correctly, being creative gets really easy, because it's not for me, right? I'm not doing it for me. I'm the doctor trying to solve some problems. And so once we identify those, then we start structuring offers on how to solve their problems in a way that makes sense for us to be involved in the deal.
You guys contribute a lot of your success to being consistent and striving to help people. Why do you think striving to help people has made you so successful?
Well, number one, I'll answer for myself. I firmly believe in the Zig Ziglar approach, is that if you can have everything in life that you want, if you just help enough people get what they want. A lot of people go into houses focusing on themselves. Man, I want this house. Man, I want to make some money. Man, I need to get this wholesale deal done. All that. They're not focused on what the problem is that they're trying to solve. Most people are just going to sell through traditional real estate means, meaning they're going to go to a realtor, list it, and go through that. If they're in a problem or a situation where they need fast cash or they need to solve a problem, that's where we are. We're the easy button, and we buy that problem. We're not worried about the sticks, the bricks, and the dirt. We're worried about what their problem is, so we can help them get to the next step and next chapter in their life.
I'd like to introduce you to the one, the only, Liana Elcott. Before we jumped on here, we broke it down into relationships, consistency, and follow through. So Liana, if you wouldn't mind, can you just kind of share your strategy on relationships?
Yeah. So somebody told me something a long time ago that was, if you want to be successful, in whatever business you are, find someone that's successful and do everything that person's doing.
Let's go ahead and talk about how you find deals.
How I find deals. Well, I obviously use the pin tool for sure, and that's.
You were breaking up a little bit earlier. I don't know if it's going to come through here. So,
okay.
What I heard you say is you log into PIN every day, and that's where you can see all of the data. But something you said in your interview that I want to touch on is you said that you tried a lot of other softwares.
I did. Yeah, actually.
Can you kind of like elaborate on that and just let us know why you decided to go with PIN, even though we're, because our data is, superior, we're more expensive. A lot of people go with like a cheap option that's just scraping data offline. It's
not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. And I literally have a spreadsheet of all the different tools that you can use, and all the different things that each tool kind of offers, right? And that's how I kind of broke it down. I'm a junkie for knowledge, and I need to know everything about everything. So once I put my spreadsheet together and went through everything and just realized that cost wasn't cost is always a thing, but I knew that the cheaper stuff, you're not getting the best data, and the fact that you can do so much, and there's so many different types of filters that you can use inside of PIN, along with like the dashboard that's in there, which is great. And I love that when you export your spreadsheets in there, there's so much data on your spreadsheets. You won't get that for $50 a month. It's just not going to happen.
So let's
And
talk
that's
about
really-
consistency. And after we talk about consistency, I'm actually going to give away the PIN software. You can visit exactlyhow.com and you might win it as well. Why do you think consistency is so important in this world?
I mean, you have to be consistent with it. I mean, if you want results, you have to kind of do the same thing every time. I mean, I block off time in my calendar every day of what I'm doing, so I know that things are getting done. And you have to also remember that you're dealing with motivated sellers who aren't always, in the right mindset. They got some of them have some stressful stuff going on, and you have, if you're wanting to help them, then you kind of have to be there consistently, that they know they can trust you and lean on you.
So let me ask you literally the $1 million question. A lot of people that are brand new to real estate, can you actually do this starting out completely new with no connections, no money, no idea? I mean, can you actually do this? We've all seen infomercials on TV. You can make millions of dollars in real estate. It doesn't matter if you have a license. And some people look at that and say it's BS. And some people are like, you know what? Maybe you can. I mean, for someone who has done it, had to overcome all these obstacles from time to just location and international laws that most people don't even have to think about. I mean, can it be done?
Yeah, it definitely can. I mean, I do it every day. And yeah, it was scary. It was scary. It was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anybody that I'm working with. Right. But you definitely can. And if you just, stay consistent and my biggest thing was that I had somebody alongside me, pardon me, that was teaching me, right. I had a mentor that, who's now my partner, but, and I didn't know him neither. Right. I was putting my trust in him, and, something just told me it was the right thing to do. But I think that's huge, especially if you don't know what you're doing, is find somebody that can teach you and help you, guide you.
You can also throw your name into a drawing to win our $3,000 software called PIN that pinpoints all of the best deals in any market and all of the most active buyers and private lenders as well. So it's the one piece of software you need to find any type of deal, whether it's an apartment complex or a single family house. If you're looking for it, it's inside PIN, and we're going to give it to one of our lucky listeners who visit exactlyhow.com. If you're watching this live, go ahead and go there right now. We haven't picked the name yet. Throw your name into the hat and you might be walking away with this software.